My husband cheated online with a married woman, so I teamed up with her husband. And we unleashed the perfect trap together. I discovered my cheating spouse's secret Reddit accounts, divorced him, and ruined the affair partner's marriage. I've been suspicious for quite a long time now, months, and have been quietly investigating on my own. I've noticed changes in his behavior, an uptick in phone usage, and have felt more distance coming from him. Every once in a while, I've gotten a gut feeling that he had been with someone else that day. A few times, he smelled different coming home, and he was slightly distant in behavior, almost like he didn't want to get too close to me, acting a bit nervous. All this triggered me into snooping through his phone when he left it around and when he was sleeping. I came across a few apps that I learned are frequently used by people who cheat to communicate with affair partners. I also found his secret Reddit account and his activity on an adultery subreddit. This weekend, I was finally able to confirm that he is actively cheating on me. I am effing gutted, and I don't know what to do. He doesn't know that I know, and it has taken everything in me to try to act normal in front of him and the kids. I confided in one friend because I just don't know how to handle this, and I could barely stop shaking all weekend. She told me to do more investigation to see if I could find out who the affair partner is before I confront him. I never thought I would be here contemplating divorce. What will happen to my kids, losing all of our life plans? What the F? I don't really deserve this. All I can think of is what an effing waste. He's ruined everything. It makes me sad to think of all of you who have gone through this type of betrayal, and at the same time, it has made me feel less alone. I spoke to an attorney today. We are in a no-fault state, so infidelity wouldn't impact a divorce, but if it came to a custody battle, the details of the infidelity might be helpful. I am grateful the attorney has an opening tomorrow, although I don't think I'm quite ready to make any sound decisions. His next opening isn't for 3 weeks, and I want to do as much research as possible before I confront my husband. I don't want to wait through weeks for the confrontation, so tomorrow it is. The one friend I've confided in was able to get me an IT specialist who's a family member of hers. He met with me this morning and was able to retrieve a lot of helpful information, including the affair partner's identity. I will wait until after I meet with the attorney to decide how to handle the affair partner. I feel like everything is moving very fast, but at the same time, not fast enough, as I know I need to gather all the information and get my ducks in a row before my husband is tipped off. But I also just want to get this confrontation over with. Thank you all again. Community reactions. First up, let me say I'm so sorry you're going through this. I remember that adrenaline rush, the shakes, the stomach knotting up, feeling the absolute rage when you find the evidence. It's literally gutting and incites such a visceral reaction. You're doing everything right. You want to gather as much intel and evidence as you can before confronting him. Don't give him any chance at all to downplay or gaslight. He'll most likely try to say it was just online stuff, which will still be cheating, so if you can get proof it was something physical, definitely save that. I wish all the best for you and your kids. You deserve so much better than some loser using not safe for work subreddits outside of his relationship. Op replies, thank you so much for the advice. I definitely have evidence of a physical affair, at least from the details he has talked about on an adultery subreddit. It's been very difficult not to confront him. Having the kids around has helped with that, though, because I'm trying not to tip them off. They are teenagers, and it will be extremely difficult to hide this from them once the crap hits the fan, which infuriates me even more. Emotions have been all over the place, from I have no other choice but divorce to how can we fix this to how the F are the kids going to react when they find out? I'm so resentful that he's placed all this crap on my shoulders. Ah, the joys of modern romance. Isn't it lovely when your partner's idea of quality time includes visiting not safe for work subreddits? I can almost hear the vows now, to love, honor, and secretly troll adultery forums till death do us part. Seriously, though, I'm sorry you're going through all this. Your sleuthing skills are on point. Nancy Drew would be proud. Just remember, you're not alone. This morning, I met with my attorney for over 2 hours. Yesterday, he had sent me a ton of paperwork and a list of things to bring, basically all of our financials. I felt prepared. Meeting with him put me a bit more at ease as far as my own financial future goes, which was a huge concern. We live in a no-fault state, which means infidelity won't have bearing in the event of a divorce. However, if there's a custody battle, which I don't see happening, details of the affair could be useful. I asked my attorney if it would be appropriate to contact the affair partner's husband, and he gave me the green light to do so. Right after my meeting with my attorney, I called the affair partner's husband. It was a short phone call, letting him know about the relationship between our spouses and that my husband is unaware of my knowledge of the relationship. He asked to call me back, and shortly after, he texted me, asking to meet me in person this afternoon. He assured me he would not tell his wife I had contacted him. Well, I just left our meeting. I'm sitting in the car, feeling a sense of relief but also dread. The affair partner's husband has been suspicious for months. They live a few towns over, and we live about an hour away from a major city. My husband spends a great deal of the work week in the city. In fact, we have an apartment there so he can avoid the long commute home during the week when meetings run late and he has work dinners. The husband says the affair partner has been spending a lot more overnights during the week than was typical in the past few months for work. She had been on her phone a lot more frequently and had become protective of her phone. He saw flirty texts over her shoulder at one point and accused her of cheating about 2 months ago. She had excuses, and he let it go. The majority of their meetups were at our apartment. I told him their message exchanges proved this. A few of my favorites were from her. I wonder if your wife will smell me on her sheets. I hope she does. Sent when my husband told her of a planned weekend in the city with me and my kids. And is it wrong that I think of the apartment as our apartment? Home, just me and you and our little love nest. An apartment I own half of, by the way. I gave the affair partner's husband a thumb drive of all the evidence I had discovered. There's a lot, and a very detailed spreadsheet of every meetup, dinner, gift, hotel visit, etc. My husband would be very proud of that. He is a spreadsheet guy. The affair partner's significant other asked me to wait a few days to confront my husband to do his own investigating. I gave him the info of my new IT expert and my divorce attorney. I've mentioned looking into getting one. One thing I should add, this man is extremely good looking and very in shape. My husband is a good looking guy too and takes care of himself, but this guy was really something. I don't know why that surprised me. He was also very kind and sympathetic, which I was relieved about because I was wary of the response I would receive. The plan is to keep in touch so that we can confront both of them at the same time, separately, of course. Community thoughts so far. The first person says, if it were me and this finally blows up, I'd straight tell my husband I don't know why the affair partner slept with him because her husband is way hotter, but I'm a jerk. The next person says, well done. Other betrayed spouses should follow your lead. I was with you 100% right up to the last statement, so that we can confront both of them at the same time, separately, of course. There is no way on this earth I could resist confronting them by having the other betrayed husband walk into the apartment with me when they were together. I wish you the very best. Bravo on the evidence gathering. I'm sure you're right, your husband will be thrilled to see his beloved spreadsheets used for such a noble cause. Meeting the affair partner's husband must have felt like something out of a spy movie. I mean, who knew infidelity investigation could double as speed dating? Nice touch noticing his good looks and fitness level because, why not? If you're going to endure this dumpster fire, might as well appreciate the view. I wonder if your wife will smell me on her sheets? Really? The only thing she's achieved is proving that cliché lines aren't just for the movies. Sharing a thumb drive with all that dirt is a master stroke. It's the ultimate, thank you, next move. I spoke to the other betrayed spouse today regarding evidence found and the logistics of the confrontation. The other betrayed spouse had said at our meeting that he was going straight to divorce. Reviewing the evidence I provided to him and then his own investigation eliminated any little doubts he had about divorce. My husband has been in the city for work since Monday, and he comes home tomorrow. The other betrayed spouse and I are both confronting our spouses tomorrow night at the same time but separately. A question that the other betrayed spouse asked me was, what was the one date and time that bothered you the most? He said for him, it was when the affair partner said she was away in Los Angeles for work. Their son is asthmatic, and he had the flu while she was supposedly in Los Angeles, and he was in the ER for over 10 hours with his son. She was actually in the city with my husband, just 1 hour away. It obviously would have blown her cover to come home. The other betrayed spouse said he was blown away that covering up her own lies was worth more than being there for their son. For me, I think it was when we had planned a 3-day trip to tour my son's top choice of colleges and explore the city of that college. This had been planned for a few months, but a few days before the trip, my husband had a work commitment come up. In messages I found, the affair partner also had a work commitment unexpectedly come up. My husband chose to spend those 3 days with the affair partner rather than spend that time having a pretty amazing experience helping our son make a choice for his future. Yes, my son got into this college and will be attending this fall. I'm a nervous wreck for tomorrow night's confrontation. Today, the other betrayed spouse said, we're on the same team. We'll get through this. I hope so. Do you think we have a good marriage? Yes, of course. Why are you asking this? You're happy in our marriage? You think we have a good marriage? Yes, everything is great. You're scaring me. Why are you asking this? Are you not happy? Right now, I'm not happy. I'm pretty effing miserable right now. Okay, I thought we were happy too, which is why I'm trying to figure out why you're cheating on me. What? Why would you say that? Because you're cheating. How can you say that? Now I'm pissed. I would never do that to you. How could you say that? You know I would never do that. I know you're cheating. Silence. Head in hands, looking at the floor. Then he jumps off the couch and storms into our bedroom, saying, I need a minute. After he returns about 10 minutes later, eyes red like he's been crying, the first thing he says is, what do we do now? I say, I know you've been cheating. I want you to be honest with me. He says, I'm sorry. I'm so effing sorry. The conversation devolves into me asking for details. He goes on to say it was just a fling, it's over, she meant nothing to him, it didn't last long, he doesn't know why he did it, he's sorry, he's so sorry, there were no feelings involved. Both of us were crying. I was crying a lot. At one point, I say, I must have done something really terrible to you for you to do this. He says, you've done nothing. It wasn't about you. What was it about? I don't understand. We have this beautiful life. There has to be a reason, and I don't want to hear that you don't know why you did this. And this is what he said, which I can't wrap my head around, everything with us was great. It's always been great, but I started getting attention from her, and it just happened. I started thinking about the monotony of our life. There are no highs and lows. It just felt exciting, I guess, and once it started, I wasn't able to stop. It was like the adrenaline took over. My response was, let me get this straight. You started effing someone else, sneaking around, lying, and blew up our entire life because we were too happy? He admitted it sounded stupid saying it out loud, but it's just how he felt. I asked who she is. He wouldn't answer. He said she has a husband and kids, and he didn't want to wreck that. What about our marriage? Me? Our kids? It says so much that you were choosing to protect her and her family over us, he said, it's not like that. At this point, I told him he had to leave, which he resisted at first, but I was literally breaking down and so upset, and I told him I couldn't be around him. So I packed up with him coming to me every few minutes to check on me and say, I'm so sorry. My brother showed up as he was packing. I told him I already have a divorce attorney working on things and that he needed to get an attorney. This shocked him. You can't just decide on your own, we are done. We have to talk about this. We can work through this, there's the kids to think about. My only response was, it seems to me you and, affair partner's name, already decided this for us. Don't worry, she's having just as crappy of a night as you are. This made my brother laugh. My soon-to-be ex looked surprised at the mention of the affair partner's name. My oldest brother walked out with him, and I saw them arguing out in the driveway. Then he left. I spoke to the other betrayed spouse briefly last night and again this morning. When you mentioned your son's college trip, it's clear that your husband's priorities were right where they shouldn't be. I mean, skipping a meaningful family event for a tryst? That's a new level of selfish. Your confrontation strategy is solid. I love the bit where you told him you already have a divorce attorney. Talk about a power move. Good on you for having screenshots of everything. You've got all the evidence you need to show the court who he really is. Stay strong, you're handling this like a boss, and there's no doubt you'll come out on top. This morning, we talked with the kids. Anonymous or not, I'm not going to get too detailed about the discussion to protect my kids' privacy. I feel it's unfair to dive too deeply here about their most vulnerable moment. The kids' ages are 14, 16, and 17, almost 18. Beforehand, I had spoken to X's name about this talk, telling him the information my therapist gave me on the healthiest way to approach it. I told him that he should be the one doing the talking because, well, we all know why. He did not want to have this talk, felt like it was too soon, and said, what if we work things out? It would just confuse them and get them upset for nothing. I then explained that they will know something is up because he will no longer be living with us. The only thing to work out going further is a co-parenting plan. He tried to engage in a discussion about us. I declined the offer and kept it about the game plan of the conversation about the kids. We sat down with the kids when they came home from my sister's house. My ex started the discussion using the very vague explanation the therapist suggested. We are having problems, can't find a resolution to those problems, and I think it's best for dad to move out for a while so it doesn't affect the kids. There won't be a lot of difference in our home life since dad spends much of the week in the city, and dad will be able to spend time with them on the weekends. Silence from all three kids. Oldest, you're cheating on mom, aren't you? Other two chime in, stop, he would never do that. Arguing amongst the three kids. X's name, says nothing. I ask them to calm down so we can talk. Oldest, everything's been fine. We'd know if you two have not been getting along. You're cheating, aren't you? It has to be that. X's name, is silent, won't say a thing. I said to him, you have to tell them. Silence. Me to the kids, yes, all three start yelling and crying, how could you do this? Why would you do this? Are you getting a divorce? Lots of yelling and crying. I hate you, on and on and on. Ex's name, I know you're all upset. You have a right to be. I've let you down, but this has nothing to do with you. It's between me and mom. I think he might have said this as a way to let them know this isn't their fault, but it backfired. How can you say it has nothing to do with us? It has everything to do with us. My oldest called him a hypocrite, always telling us to respect women, lecturing me about how to treat my girlfriend, and you're effing around on mom. There was a lot more conversation, most of it the kids saying things in anger and, ex's name, apologizing. When things calmed down, I told them that they could go to my brother's house, that I needed to talk to dad privately. All my brothers, my sister, and spouses had gathered at my brother's house, knowing I was telling the kids and thinking having their cousins around afterward might be a support for them. Before they left, my oldest said, "Mom, he's not staying here, right? Like, he's not coming back here, right? I mean, there's no coming back from this. You know that, right?" Once the kids left, I told him he should pack more stuff while we are all gone. He said, "Don't you want to talk?" I said, "What? What else is there to say? I'm effing traumatized having to sit and watch these kids go through that now. Are you thinking of the consequences? Were the effing lows worth it?" I told him to text me when he's gone so I know he won't be here when I get back. Community thoughts. First up, oh boy, my heart really goes out to your kids. Your oldest sounds like he will have the hardest time with this. He also sounds like he will be a fine young man. Your post really drives home the devastation cheating causes for what? To get your rocks off? A few minutes of jollies? It is, in itself, the most selfish act there could be. Again, you handled your business like a boss. Your soon-to-be ex-husband with "Don't you want to stay and talk?" I'm sorry, did he just meet you? Did he not know what would happen when you eventually found out? Stay strong, op. When you find out, let us know how the other betrayed spouse ended up handling his business. Next person says, despite what many may think, I strongly believe that it's vitally important for older children to be told the truth in an age-appropriate manner about the real reason for their parents' relationship breakdown when it's due to infidelity. Kids are intuitive, so hiding the truth just compounds their confusion, hurt, and sense of betrayal. It's bad enough that their wayward parent has intentionally deceived this entire family. The last thing they need is to be continually lied to by everyone else. Honesty and transparency are particularly important when dealing with teenagers. Op, you did the right thing because your babies need to know the truth to be able to start making sense of what's happening. I have to admit that reading your children's reactions was heartbreaking. The hurt experienced by the betrayed is the reason why I always reiterate that infidelity is so traumatizing for the betrayed spouse and their kids because it's a form of emotional and psychological abuse. It's important that waywards understand the profound, long-lasting damage they're causing and the abuse they're inflicting when they choose to cheat. Your wayward husband really is a selfish, self-seeking coward for willfully destroying his innocent family in such a cruel manner. As painful as it was, you truly handled the situation like a queen. Please ensure to get your kids into individual counseling as soon as possible and find a good infidelity trauma therapist for yourself. Op replies, I had a session with my therapist about strategies for kids' age groups. She had said to present it in a vague, bare-bones way we had presented it and then answer questions honestly. She said many teens already have suspicions of the cause of the breakup. Some teens will want to discuss their suspicions, some won't. By using the strategy she suggested, it gives the teens agency. It gives them the power of deciding what they are capable of hearing. I explained all of this to X's name, which made me even more frustrated in his silence. I'm that parent that will go to therapy when my kids are going through crap. I'm a Montessori-trained teacher, although I've been a stay-at-home mom since they were babies, and I've raised my kids on that philosophy. If your kids are going through crap, what are you doing as a parent to trigger it, and what can you do as a parent to help them cope? This moment was meant to, at a minimum, establish trust between X's name and the kids, and he blew it. Nothing quite like a good old confession to bring everyone closer together, right? The highlight has to be your oldest calling him a hypocrite. I mean, it's not every day you get schooled by your kid. Respect and integrity? I hope your ex took some notes during that lecture. And your exit line, asking if the lows were worth it? Brilliant. It's like you're in a drama, and he's realizing he's the villain. And let's not forget that plea from your son, make sure this guy doesn't come back. It's clear your kids are smart cookies, and they see right it's been a roller coaster ride of so many emotions to deal with, emotions of my own, my kids, and some family. My mother-in-law and father-in-law returned from vacation last week, and they are having a really hard time with it all. X's name, and his siblings sat down with them to break the news, and they are devastated. My mother-in-law has called me every day to be a support system, but the conversation usually turns into her saying, "I didn't raise him to be this way," and crying. My father-in-law tried to talk me into reconciliation for the kids. I know he is coming from a genuine place, as they are both very worried about the kids, so I'm trying to be patient with him. He's very disappointed in my soon-to-be ex and has had to put a pause on our conversations because he has been brought to tears. The kids have started therapy. They have opted for group sessions together. Their therapist has encouraged this approach as he says it will help their healing process to learn to be a healthy support system to each other. Reconciliation with their father will be a long process and might look different for each of the kids. Group sessions will help each of them to accept their individual journeys toward reconciliation with their father so it will not damage the sibling relationship. My ex and I had our first proper conversation about the affair and our separation/divorce. He still wants reconciliation. I do not. Something I asked him was, if roles were reversed, would you forgive me? We both know he wouldn't. His response was, "You're a better person than I am." Basically, he was expecting that if he were to get caught, I would give him a chance to reconcile. He never thought I would decide on divorce. I said, "You have higher expectations for me than you do for yourself. Do you think that's fair?" I had a session with my therapist since our talk. Maybe some of you might have insight on this. My therapist said what my soon-to-be ex said is very common in wayward people. They don't think the relationship will end without being given the opportunity for reconciliation. They feel entitled to reconciliation because they spent so much time blaming their betrayed spouse to excuse their infidelity. Has anyone else experienced this? Last week, there were an array of emotions: anger, sadness, grief, anger. The last few days, I felt detached. Many people have asked for updates on the other betrayed spouse. I feel like he is much further along in this crazy process than I am, probably because he had suspected his wife's infidelity for a number of years. The affair partner is staying with her sister. As far as I know, there's been no contact between her and my soon-to-be ex. The other betrayed spouse says the affair partner is angry at my soon-to-be ex because she thought they would be together. She threw that in the other betrayed spouse's face when he confronted her, and now she has egg on her face. I have shown the other betrayed spouse all of my posts and all of your words of support and advice. I felt it was only fair he knew I was posting our business. I'm trying to talk him into joining Reddit, if only to peruse these support subreddits, as I found them so helpful. He says he's not a social media guy, but he'll think about it. Thank you all so much for your advice and support. I know I've been absent, and so many of you have commented and sent me messages to check in on me. Having these outlets available has been such comfort for me. I can't properly express how much. The family drama intensifies. It sounds like your soon-to-be ex's infidelity is the gift that keeps on giving, spreading joy and heartbreak to everyone involved. Your mother-in-law's daily calls must be a real treat. I can only imagine the uplifting conversations. "I didn't raise him to be this way," and then she bursts into tears. Maybe next time, suggest she turns her emotional support efforts toward her son, the one who actually messed up. To all of the veteran betrayed spouses who warned me he's done this before, you were right. Very early this morning, I woke up to an Instagram message sent to me in the middle of the night from the affair partner from a fake Instagram account. I have her blocked on all social media. "Hi, it's affair partner. Just so you know, I'm not the only one. Ask him about Megan. I've got a feeling he's been lying to both of us and felt you deserve to know." How nice of the affair partner, after screwing my husband for 7 months, to suddenly think of my feelings. I screenshotted it, didn't respond, and blocked the account. Ironically, ex's name was stopping by at 9 a.m. as we had to go over financial information, go over a monthly budget, and him finding living arrangements locally. I called my sister on the verge of a panic attack, panic that I just found this info, and I'm going to see him in 2 hours. She calms me down, and we try to brainstorm about who Megan can be and how to find out who she is. I sure as hell wasn't going to ask the affair partner. My sister calms me down somewhat and helps me to confront him and record on my phone for evidence. Instead of this being a productive conversation about finances and future arrangements, it's D-Day 2. Ex's name comes over with coffee and bagels. How nice. We sit down in the kitchen, and I ask, "So, have you spoken to affair partner?" He says he had her blocked on everything, but she was trying to contact him at work last week, and finally, on Friday, he headed out with her and told her to stop contacting him. I asked, "How about Megan?" He looked surprised. "Huh? Megan? Have you talked to her?" He starts saying he doesn't know what I'm talking about, and I just say, "You can't keep doing this to me, acting like I'm crazy. Please just tell me the truth. I'm having panic attacks, can't sleep. Just please, I know. I know. I need the truth." To make a long story short, Megan is a woman from the organization he joined 5 years ago of professionals who get together to network, get ideas on team building strategies, growth strategies, marketing. They get together 6 times a year in different destinations. My take has always been it's a bunch of yuppies using business networking as an excuse to go on extravagant vacations every other month. The affair with Megan began in June 2019 and ended in April 2020. He claims it ended because he felt guilty, but I think it really ended because of the COVID shutdowns. Megan lives in a neighboring state but works in the city. At first, he swore their hookups were only on these trips, but after some pushback from me, he admitted they met in the city a few times. He said he's had no contact at all with her in over a year because she left the group. But wait, there's more. I asked him if there were any others, begged him, please don't make me find out on my own. Just tell me now. I can't do any more of these confrontations. He said there was one more affair partner almost 5 years ago, a few months after we bought the apartment. He dated Cindy for 3 months. They had sex only a few times and ended it because Cindy didn't know, ex's name, was married. She dumped him when she learned he was married. After I told him to leave, I called my sister to fill her in. She asked, I'm going to tell Megan's husband. Yeah, duh. She says, better do it soon before he warns her. I looked her up on Instagram and Facebook, nothing. My sister is also checking. Megan must have blocked me because my sister found her right away. She found her husband on Instagram. I couldn't guess, she blocked me there too, but I was able to find his work info and work email, so I sent the other betrayed spouse, Craig, an email explaining everything. He called me within 20 minutes of the email. Turns out, he caught Megan texting another member of that group last year, which is why she left the group. They've been in marriage counseling for a year. Craig said he knew in his gut there was more, and she gaslit him for the last year. He asked for the recording I made of ex's name, admitting the details, and we will be in touch. All of this happened before lunch. I'm shocked, angry, hurt. I feel like I don't know this person anymore. Of course, there was more. Shakes head. I'm a proud mom of a high school graduate as of this past weekend. This last week was full of lots of emotions. His prom was a few days before graduation too. I wish I could say I went into these special moments with a positive mindset, but I failed miserably. I think this would be because when you get to these huge milestones, which aren't just milestones for your kids but also for yourself and for your relationship, it also brings up memories of the past as well as all those plans and dreams for the future, and I've spent a lot of mind space grappling with the betrayal and loss.